Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with the start of Season 2 of our F1 Championship Edition career mode. Yes, we're going to be back here in Bahrain, but of course we have big news as we dive into the new season. I decided that we would leave Midland Formula 1 team and we were gonna make some changes. Now, I went for some test drives with various teams. I had a trial with Toyota and didn't pass their challenge. I had a trial with Red Bull, did pass their challenge, but they wanted me to be a test driver, and we desperately still need some seat time. So I have signed a new deal with, and hopefully the loading screen isn't going to take too long, Super Aguri. Yes, some of you might feel it's a little bit of a sidestep as we jump into Season 2, but they offered me a deal that was going to be a full-time gig, but also was going to be as the #1 driver, and most importantly, of course, Super Aguri affiliated with Honda, so we might be able to get an option to move up to Honda at some point this year if we have a really good opening campaign there. Of course, BAR, they won 2 races last season. They won the Monaco Grand Prix and the Brazilian Grand Prix, so if we get a gig there, we could really then be fighting for wins and championships. But yeah, Super Aguri, very happy to welcome us into the team. Like we kind of said, of course, you know, it feels like, obviously, Midland don't really have any connections to any of the bigger teams. You know, in real life, there was a little bit with Toyota just because they were using their power units, but nothing really that ever came to fruition. But yeah, Super Aguri, very closely linked with Toyota, so I'm intrigued to see how we get on this season. Now, our teammate, I believe, yes, is Takuma Sato still. So he's going to be a little bit better to compare ourselves against Yuji Ide. But yeah, the goal obviously early on, just not retire from races, make sure we're finishing clean and tidy, but surely we can try and score some points early on this season. Here we go then. First laps ever in our new Super Aguri car. Sounds very different to the Midland, as you would expect. Obviously got the Honda power unit in the back of this thing. Now, obviously, for those of you that don't really know what Super Aguri was, very short-lived team, I think between 2006 and 2008. It was basically because Takuma Sato got dropped by Honda, because he crashed a lot, there was a load of support in Japan for him. So Honda basically had to build an entire other Formula 1 team that used loads of their parts and some of their old cars. And yeah, basically it meant that Takuma Sato could continue racing for a couple more seasons. Now, when he then left anyway, the team basically fell through immediately. But yeah, they famously did obviously overtake Takuma Sato famously overtook Fernando Alonso at the 2007 Canadian Grand Prix. It was a bit like suddenly Nick de Vries overtaking Max Verstappen, but even less believable. Of course, yeah, luckily now we've raced on every track, so we know roughly what we're doing. But Bahrain, obviously last season, I think we did 3 laps, and then I managed to bin it. It was a real trial by fire to kickstart the campaign. However, what we did learn from that GP is the AI very slow here in Sakhir. So hopefully there's a big opportunity this weekend. If we could start the year, you know, with a really good result. Not necessarily points, but just get into the checkered flag. And maybe, you know, close to points. There we go, first lap on the board, a 1:36.8, as the car actually getting slower once we cross the start-finish line, but at least this thing will pretty much reach its red line. That should be good. We'll keep doing some laps before we head into qualifying.
Welcome to Sakhir, Bahrain for this afternoon's qualifying session. 1 hour of entertainment and excitement starts right here. Session 1 is starting imminently, so without delay, let's find out who makes it through to Session 2 and who will make up the back part of the grid.
Well, apparently then, because we're the #1 driver, I have actually got Takuma Sato sacked, which is not ideal. So everything I was saying in the intro then, Super Aguri is going to last about 4 races now in this campaign. It does also mean Yuji Ide, for those of you who don't know, was famously one of the worst F1 drivers of the 21st century. The FIA told him he wasn't allowed to race anymore. I believe he's the only driver ever to to have his super license revoked. Here we go then. First lap in anger in our new car, ready for Season 2. Practice pace looked really, really good. To be honest, yeah, I think sensibly here in Bahrain, we should be fighting for pole. But the AI... AI's race pace is very, very good, as that McLaren tells you how much I panicked. I actually pressed my brake pedal on my rig. Oh, come on then, Honda. We've got to be working with you this season, so hopefully you're going to get out of the way. Although maybe we might try and replace one of their drivers at some point over the course of this season. That's the real goal, get ourselves a Honda gig. You know, maybe if it happens this during the season or at the end of this season, either way, would be wonderful. But yeah, I'm just obviously, like I said, the big goal, obviously, at the start of this year is just finish races. So a little bit wide there out of the final corner. We will get a nice slipstream, though, from E-Day as we head back up towards the start-finish line. Give me that slipstream, give me that slipstream. 137.7.
He'll be thrilled with that. It was a good lap.
Well, he went fastest and then immediately wasn't anymore as... Lots of cars at turn 1. Well, there we go then. Montero, of course, back now on the Formula 1 grid, but EJ 4.5 seconds behind me at the end of that session. To be honest, for UGE Day, that isn't so much of a surprise. But yeah, Christian Alba's there down in last place. My old teammate, Christian Klein, the unlucky one that probably was hoping to make Q2. That's certainly not something I was considering when I signed up with Super Aguri, but this thing does sound awesome as well. Power unit, these BAR power units really, yeah, do sound good back in the day. Obviously, yeah, such a massive variety of engines back then. Obviously, you had Honda, Toyota, BMW, Ferrari, Mercedes, and of course that V10 as well in the back of the Toro Rosso. So there really was, yeah, Renault? No, don't think Renault was back. Yeah, no, Renault must have been. They had a whole Formula 1 team at this point, Matt. There was barely, I don't think there was any team that there were 3 cars being powered by. Absolutely insane. Trying to keep it much more composed, though, out of the final corner. Hopefully we can be back into the 37s, but track definitely is slower than it was in free practice. Up over the line, though, I say that. 35.7? Okay, yeah, this isn't the normal on this game. The AI just suck at Bahrain. Well, always happy to see the Jacques Villeneuve downfall inside F1 Championship Edition, but no major surprises there out in Q2. But yeah, we are in the fight for pole here in our first race with Super Aguri. Obviously now on our race fuel. This is going to be a very, very interesting story, of course. Generally speaking, our advantage is slashed in Q3 because the AI are much, much better on their race fuel, especially obviously because we're in such a bad car that obviously it's not really well optimized. That's our first scary moment of the weekend. Well, Fernando Alonso then has set the benchmark on a 139.7. Can we go quicker than that? Can we take Super Aguri a pole position to kickstart the campaign? Not with lines like that down at turn 1 or turn 2. No. No. Big spin. Big. That was scary. That's Toyota. I think that's Aviano Trulli just going past. An unideal way to start Q3. Massa now just casually dunked 1.4 seconds on Fernando. I'm really hoping that Toyota is peeling into the pit lane then, as at the final turn. He is not, apparently, so we're going to have to try and make a move on Jarno Trulli this time round. And yeah, 144.8. Not the benchmark we needed. We are up in Sector 1, 3/10. And now the rest of the lap is where we should find all the time. One more corner, and out towards the start-finish line. Then Alonso has moved that benchmark even lower onto a 38.1. What are we going to be able to do up towards the line? 38.2! 38.3 even, sorry. We were 3/10 out in the end. That is heartbreaking. But yeah, very best. I think we're only going to start P2.
So there we have it. From 10th to pole, the grid order looks like this. Great qualifying session. I've really enjoyed it, and I'm sure you have too. Looking at the grid lineup, there seems to be a number of intriguing battles waiting to be resolved on race day. We look forward to sharing it with you. Goodbye.
Well, there we go. It is Fernando Alonso on the pole here for the season opener in Bahrain. But yeah, casually 7 and 8 tenths quicker than both those Honda cars. You know, if you need me, Honda, the number is there.
The waiting is over and you join us live in the desert for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Formula One's popularity knows no bounds. They may not have had any home teams or drivers here, but our Arabian hosts are still big fans. Whether it's horses, camels or F1 cars, Bahrain certainly loves its racing. The Formula One Roadshow has truly arrived in the Middle East and we're all set for a real sizzler. This is race day in the desert. Pretty much perfect weather conditions for racing here today, so we should see some very competitive lap times during this race. Lining up on pole is Fernando Alonso. You're next, alongside him on the front row. Felipe Massa is in third. Giancarlo Fisichella completes row 2. Fifth is Michael Schumacher. Jenson Button completes the third row. Rubens Barrichello starts 7th. 8th is Kimi Raikkonen.
Okay, just be careful heading into these first few bends, although we've had the tyre blankets on. The tyres still aren't up to race temperatures yet.
Well, I did definitely stipulate in my contract with Super Aguri that I would not be bringing my engineer along, but somehow he's weaseled his way in. Well, out of the final corner then, desperate to get that last little bit of temperature into the tyres. I am nervous for this one, but again, the goal is just survival. If we can take some points with that, I will leave here a very happy boy. Let's do this thing here in Bahrain. Come on! I want to get a podium this season. Not necessarily today, just this season.
It seems like an age for the drivers waiting for the lights to signal the start of the race. We are racing!
Not my best ever start.
Alonso gets off to a great start. Button gets a poor start. Here come the drivers ploughing into the first corner. Alonso leads out of the first corner. You're following him. Next is Massa.
That's not been a bad start for us. I thought Fizzy might get the jump on Felipe there, and we could have ended up in a Renault sandwich. Yeah, but Fernando Alonso obviously unable to... Oh, there's sounded like contact back there.
It's Button. He's retiring from the race, and that's a huge disappointment for him. Montoya was also involved in that scrape. It doesn't look too bad, but his front wing has taken a hit. He should be able to continue after he pits for a new nose.
No. Montoya and Button already out of it. It looks like there's a... No, that might be Christian Albers or Montero out of the GP as well, but Jenson Button under pressure. We've lost the place to both Renaults now with both Ferraris, but we're still ahead of Rubens Barrichello then on this opening lap after a little bit of a spin. Oh, Rubino, please don't go for dive bombs there. Well, let's just try and settle down into an early race rhythm. Fernando Alonso probably has already won this thing, but surprised to see Schumacher struggling a little bit early on, as here comes Barrichello again. We'll have a look to the inside down at turn 1. We've got to be so careful we don't collide with him. But yeah, we will hang on for now.
The field looks like this. Alonso leads. Massa is second. He's up from third. Fisichella third. Fourth, Michael Schumacher. You're fifth. Barrichello is sixth. David Coulthard is seventh. And Raikkonen is eighth.
That's nearly 4 seconds faster than previously in sector 1.
Coulthard then's done very well early on as the AI brake alarmingly early into that hairpin. Yeah, Coulthard already up into the points then after he must have avoided all the chaos in front. I tell you what, we are hounding now the 8-time Formula 1 World Champion Michael Schumacher to make our way in towards the final corner of lap 2. Yeah, we have definitely got the pace to be fighting here. Especially when Michael is just going to break on the racing line out of the final turn. Clearly, you know, his dirty tactics that we saw last season still coming into play. I still have beef with Michael Schumacher.
You're fifth. Barrichello is sixth. David Coulthard is seventh. And Raikkonen is eighth.
Goodbye, Michael. Simple move in the end. We love it. And Michael Schumacher might be an 8-time world champion. But he got overtaken by Super Aguri, so who's the real winner? No.
Take it easy while the tyres are blue. More grip. Green on the indicator.
Well, we just have really cold tyres for some reason, but we lose the place not only to the Michael, but to his former teammate Barrichello as well. How come 2 of my tyres are fried and the other 2 are ice cold? Rubens, why do the AI? They're so bad here. There's like 4 corners where they brake way too early and then don't carry the speed through the corner, but to the inside of the BAR. And we are back up then into P5. A little bit deep there at turn 1, but we do hang on. As I immediately almost throw it away there, we're still just trying to keep it clean. Well, this of course is the other reason why we struggle more in the race against qualifying with the AI. Obviously this car is awful on tyre wear relative to the front runners, so we're constantly losing out a little bit more each and every lap, and obviously the AI are computers, so they know how to avoid the auto spin curbs perfectly every time. I'm a semi-okay racing, well, pretend racing driver on a controller. There is levels to this game. I'm sure if this was real-life Super Aguri, they would be telling me just to lock in this P5. Don't worry about hassling the cars in front. This would be a mega result for the team. However, I am fueled by the beef between myself and Michael Schumacher here, so we are trying to chase him down, as it looks like Fisichella going to be our first car into the pits. Renault then, both their cars peeling into the pit lane very, very early on here. We are going to be trying to apply pressure to Schumacher, but look at that Ferrari. Just romping away from me. Can we try and get back past the Michael as we make our way through the first couple of corners? Again, not with lines like that, but we are going to box this lap.
Massa is first. Michael Schumacher is in second. You're third. Fourth is Raikkonen. Coulthard is in 5th place. He's up from 7th. Alonso's 6th. Barrichello is 7th. Heidfeld is in 8th place.
Remember to come in at the end of this lap. Your stop is at the end of this lap.
What's he doing? Michael Schumacher just brake checked me. You don't need to brake there, man. What? I mean, come on. This guy, he just is so dirty. Right, into the pits will come then, alongside Felipe Massa. So there might be an opportunity to try and undercut Michael Schumacher in this GP on our fresh rubber, but yeah, not going to hold my breath on that one. We need to try and get a nice, clean, tidy stop to kickstart the new season. I assume pit lane procedure is the same for every team, as those are some interesting overalls. There we go. There you go, 8.9. That's pretty good, I'll take that. So we're still going to be out just behind Fisichella, but luckily we're ahead of Jacques Villeneuve. There we go, Schumacher into the pit lane then. But is that Alonso out of the race? Fernando Alonso, I don't think he's in this race anymore. We haven't heard anything about it, but we might now be up then into an easy P4. It might even become a P3. Yeah, I swear Fernando's out. That Renault car, I can just see on the mini-map, is slightly higher than the likes of the McLaren even. Yeah, Alonso's out of the Grand Prix. Race leader Fernando Alonso is out here in Sakhir. Well, if we can try and take a podium away from the Michael with everything that's happened so far this race, I'm certainly going to attempt to. But yeah, I mean, Felipe Massa, race leader, is only there. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but who knows? Come on then, Michael. Give it up. Give it up. You've tried your dirty tactics all day long. That Ferrari is still a rocket ship in a straight line. Can we have a look down the inside? No, not quite there. But the AI we know are slow out of that final corner. I didn't expect, to be honest, in our first race back to be fighting with the Michael. Never did I expect either that we could be fighting for a podium. Remember, our best finish last year was, I think, that P4, wasn't it? In Shanghai.
Race distance. Massa is first. Fisichella is second. Michael Schumacher third. He slid down from second. You're in fourth. Barrichello fifth. Raikkonen sixth. David Coulthard is seventh. Heidfeld is in 8th place.
Bye, Michael. We will have that place just like we did earlier on. Now we just got to try not to bottle it. Well, I might be wrong, but I think at the moment, Ferrari might be the only car the only team, that gets a double points finish in this GP. It seems like there's a lot of teams that have got one car inside that top 10, and especially, obviously, with Montoya way down the order, with Button and Alonso out of the Grand Prix, it really has opened up a big opportunity here for some of our midfield teams to try and snooker away a couple of points to kickstart their tally. But we are now applying pressure to Giancarlo Fisichella with just a handful of laps to go in this GP. Massa still 4 seconds up the road, but look at the run we get. Can we potentially have a look past the Renault? Doesn't feel like I really battled them at all last season. We had a lot of battles with Michael, but not with any Renault cars. As out of the final corner, can we potentially elevate ourselves up into P2 with just a handful of laps to go? Come on then, Giancarlo. Let's see if we can try and get a run up between turns. No, of course we can't. The AI is so good down the straights. See if we can switch him just like we keep doing with Michael. The AI take too much curb, and we will capitalise again there, up into P2.
Second place, you get that? You're in second position.
I'm worried, to be honest, I'm going to get a nosebleed running this high. Oh! Felipe Massa! The engine's gone on that Ferrari! No way! And suddenly, out of nowhere, we lead the Bahrain Grand Prix with just a handful of laps to go. Oh my! We've got 2 seconds over Giancarlo Fisichella. We've just got to keep it clean and tidy. And this might well be the most unlikely win you will ever see in Formula 1. Come on! Well, the only thing now that is going through my mind with 2 laps to go is just don't bin it. Don't hit the curbs. Oh, Fisichella's gone! What on earth is happening here? Fisichella now might well be out of the GP. He is! Both Renault's out. Felipe Massa out. And suddenly Barrichello could be on for a podium here. Schumacher is our only true frontrunner who is not out of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Well, I'm still desperate not to get ahead of myself here as we round the final corner to start the last lap of the Bahrain Grand Prix. It can still go wrong. I'm still so consciously aware of that fact.
Lap of the race in the lead.
You posted the fastest lap time.
A new fast lap of the day as well. I wasn't even going for it.
Last lap. We're nearly there.
Yep, engineer is absolutely spot on. What a crazy race this has been here in Bahrain. And well, if we can hang on to it, only a handful of drivers have ever won a race, their debut race, with a new team. We've got another power unit failure. Where's the oil? I'm going to not take any risk. I'm taking no risk through here at the moment. Where is that oil? Trying to stay off the racing line. There it is. We've got another one. Who's that now? I think that is a Midland out of the GP. So many power unit failures here. Both Renaults out. And, you know, once we kind of settled in after we got back past Barrichello, I thought maybe we can get Schumacher. Maybe we can get Giancarlo Fisichella. But I thought Massa and Alonso, no chance. We might snooker away a podium to kickstart the campaign. But so many high-profile drivers retiring from this GP, it has kind of fallen into our laps here as we head into the final sector. We never scored a podium last season with Midland, but I said at the start of this race, Honda, they have got my number, and surely we've got to be expecting a phone call through if we can keep up races like this. Out of the final corner, Super Aguri, they're not only point scorers, they're not only podium finishers, we are going to be a race winner in F1 Championship Edition. Get in there.
That's a truly momentous win. So there we have it. The new Formula 1 season gets underway here at the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit in Sakhir. It's the first time since 1995 that the opening race of the season has not been held in Australia. It's been exciting, and it's only the start of what I'm sure promises to be a fascinating season. See you in 7 days' time for round 2 in Sepang. Formula 1 is back.
Well, there we go then. Look at that. Get a screenshot, ladies and gentlemen. Super Aguri, top of the pack there. Montero, Fisichella, Massa, Alonso, Button, and Scott Speed, all not able to make it to the checkered flag there. Yuji Ide, I believe that might be his career best as well in P15 there, but If I'm not mistaken, of course, we're definitely leading the Drivers' Championship. That is not going to happen throughout much of this season. I cannot stress to you enough just how bad the AI are here in Bahrain, but we are certainly going to take it. But the thing I did definitely want to get a look at here is the Constructors' standings, because Aguri, Super Aguri, lead the way there. Toyota were the only team to get both cars in the points at the end. I believe Montoya didn't have enough fuel to get to the checkered flag there. We are leading the way. Renault are in last. How long is it before they re-jump us? But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very soon in Malaysia. I had no idea the game was going to do that. I apologise for a very, very cursed ending. A massive thank you to all of my YouTube members and my Patreon supporters for their continued donations to help my work. These things go much further than I think a lot of you ever realise and allow me to continue making content full-time here on YouTube. So if you want to support me from as little as £1 a month and be featured on all of these end clips, either click the join button next to the subscribe or head over to my Patreon. There's a link down in the description.